channel, Naturally Beautiful Girl. So a while back, I purchased a bunch of Jason Wu products. I will link the video up above where I did a first impression trying some of them out. But now that I've been testing things out for a while, it's time for me to circle back and give you my thoughts. I did purchase all these products at the time they were having a 50% off sale on their website. So that's the only way I was able to afford all this. And I want to thank you guys as always for supporting my channel, for watching my videos, for watching through the ads, for clicking my affiliate links, because I purchased the vast majority of products on my own and your guys' support is what makes that possible. So thank you so much. But Jason Wu Beauty is a new clean beauty brand that launched and it has now been carried at Target. And I wanted to try it out just because it is a more accessible brand and is at a little bit of a lower price point. Part of the reason it's taken me so long to sit down and film this video is, to be really honest, I didn't like a lot of these products. A lot of them are going to be decluttered out of my collection after this video because I have tried out so many products in the clean beauty space from a wide range of prices, and a lot of these just didn't hit the mark for me. For me, the ingredients are better than using a conventional beauty brand. However, they're not as great as a lot of the other clean beauty brands that I use. So do I feel like there's a bit of clean washing going on? Yes, a pinch of that, which honestly just bugs me a little bit. Like, in some ways, I'm really excited to see so many brands entering the clean beauty space. But also I feel like a lot of brands are entering the clean beauty space because clean beauty is trendy. And I felt that way about Jason Wu. So, all right, with that being said, let's jump into the products. So the first one I'm going to start talking about is the Jason Wu Magic Matte Oil. This is a very interesting product. It's a face oil that you can put on like before applying makeup. I was intrigued by this because I do have oily, acne-prone skin. And I still do like to use oils from time to time, especially during the winter months, just because I live in Boston, it's cold. And so products like this can really help my skin out. And I do like it. The ingredients are not the best, and so for that reason, I don't think it's a product I'm gonna reach for on an everyday basis, just because I am putting this all over my skin. It is a really cool product though, because it's an oil, but it doesn't leave my skin feeling overly oily. It kind of absorbs in it. It does give you a little boost of moisture, but doesn't leave your skin feeling overly oily or overly slippery, which makes it really great for going under makeup. It's just I'm not the biggest fan of the ingredients in this product. The next one is the Jason Wu Ready Set Matte. And this is a setting powder and it is huge. You get so much product. And it does come with a powder puff, which is nice. I never use this. I just use a brush to apply the powder. It doesn't have a locking sifter or anything, so you do need to keep the powder puff in the product so that the powder doesn't get loose everywhere. To be honest, I like the setting powder. I don't have anything bad to say about it. It's very much just a neutral product for me. I do love my Fortini setting powder, and to be really honest, that's like my ride or die powder. Do I like this one better than that one? No. Is it a fine setting powder? Yes. If you are looking for a more affordable option, I find that it works well. I also find that it sets my under eyes well. Things don't tend to crease too much, so it does have a good amount of setting powder, but it doesn't leave things looking dry and crepey. I don't think it sets quite as well as my Fortini's setting powder, so that's why I prefer that one. I don't find that it deepens up my under eyes too much because the powder does have a slight tint to it. It's not pure white. Let me grab some on my finger here. It does have a little bit of a tint to it, which I imagine would help with white casting, though if you do have a deeper skin tone, this probably still would not work that well for you. On my skin tone, it does work well, but I do have super fair porcelain skin. So the next product I'm going to be talking about is the brow pencil, and this is the Groomed by Mr. Wu brow pencil. I'm not entirely sure which shade I have in this. Unfortunately, the pencil doesn't say which shade I have. It does have a really nice fine pencil tip, and it is a retractable brow pencil, which I like, and it does have a good spoolie on the end. So I like this brow pencil Would I say it's like my all-time favorite brow pencil? No. I really like the brow pencil from Plume, which is a refillable brow pencil, which also gets a little extra check in my book. And I also like the brow pencil from EcoTools. Both of their formulas are a little bit waxier, which I actually prefer. Like, you can still get the pigment out really easily, but because it's a little bit waxier, it's easier to get like kind of more hair-like strokes and a very natural brow look. But this one does work really well. It holds up really well. It doesn't smudge around or move around. And I think it's a really great, more affordable alternative. And I do like having more affordable options for brow pencils because, at least for me, I tend to fly through brow pencils pretty quickly. And moving on to a few more brow products. I picked this one up. This is the Woo Brow Everlasting Love. Basically, it's supposed to be like a long wearing brow product. It comes with a brush and you like brush it into your brows. I do know that I have the shade number 2 in this, so I do have the shade 2. And to be really honest, I don't like this product. This is one that's just gonna be decluttered. I found that it was just too difficult. Like, it was just too difficult of a brow product. The brush, it's hard to get it kind of blended out, and so you don't look like you have really deep, thick brows. The idea with this is it's supposed to be staining and kind of long lasting. I didn't really notice that, to be honest, and it's just not worth it. Like, it's just took me so much longer to try and get this to look good in my brows compared to all the other brow products that I'm used to using. That's just not worth it for me. Because such kind of wispy brows are in style right now, this just doesn't really match with like brow trends at the moment either. I went a little bit crazy with the brow products. They had a lot of options. The next one that I tried out was this one. This is the Jason Woo, of course it's Jason Woo. This is the brow mascara, and I have the shade medium in this one. And I basically assumed that this is going to be a tinted brow gel. And it just has absolutely no hold to it whatsoever. Like, I've talked about the Merit Beauty brow gel not having enough hold for me. This has even less hold. It's just like a straight up liquid. And it does have a spoolie and you just brush them in, but all it does is tint. Like, literally, that's it. No hold. And I was surprised because they described it as a mascara. I guess that's why they didn't describe it as a brow gel. But even with a mascara, like, at least there's some hold to it. Like, you know, if you curl your lashes, the mascara is gonna help to hold that curl in place. Like, this is absolutely no hold. So if you want something that literally just tints your brows and doesn't hold them in place at all, this would work, but I don't really know why you would want that. So I would not recommend this one either. And the one that really intrigued me and I had really high hopes for was this one. This is the Jason Woo Bush Brow Shaper Soap. And so basically what this is a soap brow, except it comes in a nice little compact with a mirror, and then you've got the soap product down here. And I was so excited to try soap brows. Like, I've never tried them. I see them. They look so beautiful on all of these girls on Instagram. And I was like, I'm going to have soap brows. And I thought that this would be quite achievable for me because I actually have pretty naturally bushy brows. I have tried so hard to make the soap brow work. And I have watched so many videos on how to do soap brows, and I cannot get this to work. I haven't tried it with just a bar of soap because I don't actually have just like a clear bar of soap knocking around, but I really suspect that it is this product. I mean, there is a chance that I have not figured out how to use soap brows properly, but if I can't figure it out with a product that's like specifically designed to do soap brows, then that's not a great sign. And like I said, I have watched a lot of tutorials. Basically what you're supposed to be able to do is wet this and get like a paste kind of consistency going, and then use the spoolie and take that paste and like comb it into your brows. Here's the thing. I cannot get a paste-like consistency going with this. I can wet it, but then it doesn't like actually turn into a paste. And I've tried so hard to like mix it around my finger, mix it around with the spoolie. Like, I really tried to work that water into the soap, and it just doesn't actually act like normal soap. So I can't get a paste consistency formed at all. So then all I end up doing is just scraping the soap off into the spoolie, brushing it through my brows, and then I just end up with chunks of soap in my brow. It looks horrible. For that reason, I wouldn't recommend it. So the next product I'm going to talk about is one that I do like, and this is the Hot Fluff Lipstick, and I have the shade Apple Pie. I've got it on my lips today, and I also used it on my cheeks. So this is a multi-use product, and I do like that about it. One thing I really like about the lipstick is the packaging. All the lipsticks the outside packaging is the shade of the actual lipstick itself, which is really nice. So if you're looking through your lipsticks, you're trying to find a specific color, this makes it a lot easier because you look and you're like, ah, yes, this is the color that I want. And I do like it a lot. I do find that it works well as a nice multi-use product. I did use it on my cheeks. It's not overly creamy product in terms of being a lipstick or a like cheek product. I did look at the ingredients a while ago. I'm pretty sure this does have silicones in it, and I think that's why it kind of slips around, but it's not actually creamy, is because of the silicones. Obviously, you have to decide for you if that's the kind of product that you want to use or not. But I do find that it does work really well as a blush. It's not overly creamy. It does kind of dry down to a more matte finish, and the same thing with the lipstick. It gives a nice level of cover. It's pretty long wearing too, so I like it. This is a product that I will continue using and reaching for because it is a very nice product and it does perform well and it checks all the boxes for me. So next we have the highlighter, and this is the like highlighter stick, and unfortunately I think they only have one shade of it, which is the shade Opal. I was a little bit disappointed in that because this shade does work on my fair skin. However, if you have a deeper skin tone, I'm not sure that this would work that well. It really is disappointing to see only one highlighter shade. If I remember properly, I believe this also has silicones in it, and I can kind of get that sense from the texture of it. It reminds me of the Merit highlighter stick in terms of formula. They both are not overly creamy. The Merit is a little bit creamier. This one is less creamy. It reminds me of the lipstick. Like they glide on really easily, but they're not creamy, if that makes sense, even though this is like a cream stick highlighter. And I do have it on my cheekbones and on my Cupid's bow today, and I do really like it. It does give a nice glow. The one downside with this is it does kind of reflect purple. It's a very purpley highlighter, which is not my favorite just because I like more natural looking highlighters. If you want a purple highlighter, it's really pretty, but it's just not my go-to everyday highlighter because it looks like you're wearing highlighter, because why else would you have a purple reflection on your face? But this shade does work really well on my fair skin. It's light enough for me. It doesn't like show a shadow on my cheekbones and I'm looking directly ahead, which I like, and it does a really nice job of not being a too creamy of a highlighter. I touch my face where the highlighter is, and it's not at all creamy, and so it means like my hair's not getting stuck, and I can apply it directly to my face, like use the stick to draw it on my face, and it doesn't disrupt the products underneath it because it just glides really easily on. So those are all positives. So I do like it. If you want a purpley highlighter, I would recommend it, but I understand that this shade is not for everyone, which is why it's a bit disappointing that they only came out with one shade. Next, we're gonna move on to eyes, and I did pick up the eye primer. This is the Woo Prime Eye, and I got the shade in light, which I thought this was cool. Complained about some things not having different shades. The eye primer actually came in a range of different shades, which I really appreciate because this is a tinted eye primer, so that way you can pick a shade that would work well for your skin tone. I use the shade Light. It is still a bit lighter than my skin tone, so it is really brightening and helps to make eyeshadows pop. They also have a white eye primer, which I know is super hard to find. So if you are in the market for a white eye primer, I would recommend this. To be really honest, I like it. I am a huge fan of eye primer. I've hooded eyelids and they're also very oily. And if I don't put eye primer on, whatever eyeshadow I put on just leaves my lids. This one is not quite as good at helping my eyeshadow stay on as the Erin's Faces eye primer. However, Erin's Faces has, at least for the time being, discontinued the eye primer, which I know, it's really sad. Don't get me started on it. But I could see myself eventually, if I run out of that and Erin doesn't create another eye primer, I could see myself transitioning to using this one, which says a lot. If I'm given the choice between the two, I would pick the Erin's Faces, but I do definitely notice that this helps my eyeshadow stay in place longer, which is what I'm looking for with an eyeshadow primer. So overall, I think the eyeshadow primer is pretty good and I would recommend it. Moving on to the eyeshadows, and I picked up two of the eyeshadow palettes. They were so pretty, I was like, I gotta purchase both of them. This is one of the biggest disappointments for me. These eyeshadow palettes. Yes, they're available at Target. But you know what they remind me of deep down are like 10, 15 years ago when you would go and buy like L'Oreal, Revlon, Wet n Wild eyeshadow, little like eyeshadow quads or trios. That quality, is what these remind me of. So not great. I will say the mattes are better. I did use a couple of the matte shadows in my crease today, and the matte shadows do perform a lot better than the shimmer metallic shadows. I forgot to even tell you which palettes I have. I have the Desert Rose palette and the Prickly Pear. Out of the two, I prefer the Desert Rose because it has more mattes, and the mattes are pretty good actually. They are pigmented, they blend well. Are they the best matte eyeshadows I've used in clean beauty eyeshadows? Absolutely not, but do they work? Yes. The shimmer and metallic shadows, on the other hand, are just bad. They're just flat out bad. In my video where I did a first impression using these products, I swatched some of them, and let me tell you, they do not perform on the eyes any better than they swatch. It's just bad. They're not metallic, they're not shimmery, you don't get a lot of pigmentation. When you're trying to do an eye look, you get a lot of fallout from them, they're chalky, they're just not a good formula. So I would 100%, under no circumstance, recommend the Prickly Pear palette, which is majority shimmer shades. The only matte shade is this one here in the middle. The other 8 are all shimmer or metallic shadows. Do not recommend this, it is not worth it. This one is okay. This is the Desert Rose palette just because it has 6 matte shades, the 3 on each side, and then the only 3 shimmers it has in the middle. Can you get these to work? Yes. Would I recommend this? Absolutely not. I was just thinking about, there's a Pacifica Animal Magic palette, which is a huge palette. Let me find it. I've got it in my drawer here. Here it is. Huge palette. It's available at Ulta. It has so many shades, so many mattes, so many shimmers, and the formula on this is just leaps and bounds ahead of the Jason Wu formula. So, but this one I think is a little bit more expensive than the Jason Wu palettes, but just save your money, buy this one instead. It is so much better, just leaps and bounds better. I do know that the Jason Wu has a purely matte palette, and some people like that, but still, I just am not that blown away even by the matte formula. It's definitely better than the shimmers, but still not great. So you're probably wondering, Kat, you have a pretty shimmer on your lid. How did you get that? Well, the answer is the Jason Wu liquid eyeshadows. They have liquid eyeshadows that are called Celestial Lust. And I have this shade in Jane Doe, and this I like. This I have liquid eyeshadow. You guys know, if you've been following me for a while, I am a huge fan of liquid eyeshadows. I will link my video up above where I review all the clean beauty liquid eyeshadows and rank them. Hadn't tried this one out, so that one's not in the ranking. This one I do really like. It is a very metallic eyeshadow. It stays in place, it wears well throughout the day. I have a good level of pigmentation. Basically, it checks all the boxes for me. Do I like it as much as the Ilia liquid eyeshadows or the Kosas liquid eyeshadows? No, but I do really like this, and I reach for it and I do wear it. It is a pretty intense metallic eyeshadow, so it's not as much of a one eyeshadow look for me as those other eyeshadows, which is why I prefer those other formulas. But I do find that it's a really nice liquid eyeshadow product. I think some of the other shades are a little bit more glittery. I specifically went with this one because it described it as being a more metallic shade, which is just my preference. We're almost done here. We just have lip products now. The next product I tried out was the Honey Fluff, which is a liquid lipstick, and I have the shade First Date. This is awful. It is awful. I was trying out the liquid lipstick because, you know, we're all wearing face masks, or at least we should be. We should be wearing face masks. And liquid lipsticks are a really great option. Something you can wear under a face mask and then don't have to worry about it transferring to the mask itself. However, this formula is terrible. It is patchy. It just doesn't look good on the lips. It clings to dry patches. Would not under any circumstance recommend. If you want a lip product, the lipstick is a lot better. The next one I tried out was the lip liner. I was having a hard time with swatches online, and the shade that I picked out is just not the right shade, not flattering on my skin tone, and is, as a consequence, is something that I don't really reach for. I have the shade in, I think 303, Woo Me. I have the shade in Woo Me, and I believe the shades of the lip liners match those of the liquid lipsticks, if I remember properly. But I have tried this out. It is a fine lip liner. It's creamy. It serves its purpose as a lip liner. It hasn't completely blown me away, And I haven't used it that much, like I said, because the color Woo Me is just too light of a shade for my skin tone. And then the last product. This is the Goodnight Mr. Woo, and this is a lip mask, like a lip sleeping mask. And I picked this up because I've been having such dry lips recently. I mean, we are moving out of winter, so like winter time, I was having really dry lips. And I picked this up thinking, this is gonna solve all my lip problems. It didn't. I didn't like it as much as other lip products I've used. I really have actually been enjoying the Clove and Hallow lip mask. That product's really good. I like the Cary Grant lip whips. Those are really good. This one I just didn't feel like did enough to actually help with the dryness of my lips, which is quite disappointing considering it is actually a lip mask that you're supposed to wear at night. I wouldn't recommend this one either. It didn't cut it. And maybe if your lips are like not as dry and not as chapped, it'd be okay. But for me, it just didn't cut it. Try to power through these as quickly as possible and share with you my thoughts. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you found it helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up and of course, subscribe to my channel to see more clean beauty content and come follow me on Instagram. I'm at naturallybeautifulgirlkat there. And thank you so much for watching. Let us know in the comment section down below if you've tried out any Jason Woo products. What are your thoughts on the brand? Let us know down below. Thank you so much for watching and I will see you next time. Bye.